First, let's have a tax cut.
Do we have control over that? That's the kind of control.
Oh, no.
For what?
We're live.
Better and better.
Keep putting it out.
We could liven up the proceedings a little bit and get a bigger audience.
Would.
Okay, so I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, control.
Is everybody up for the adoption of the agenda?
Yep.
I motion we adopt the agenda.
I second that.
Oh.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is adopted. So first we have, are you Rachel?
Yes.
We are glad to have with us Rachel Wander from the San Mateo County Office of Sustainability, Energy, and Water Division Programs. And she is going to talk to us about the current...
Some of our energy programs, specifically our home energy and water saving toolkit.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. This is the one we just got.
Yes.
Well, we created our own too, so now we can see what you've also done.
Compare and contrast.
Exactly.
Is this live streaming somewhere? Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. Okay.
Thanks for coming.
You have
Thanks.
an audience of dozens.
I'm sure. Okay. Well, hello everyone at home.
Yeah, half dozens.
Right. All right. So I want to start off with a little bit of background about our office. I'm not sure if you've all heard of us. We are a relatively new office under the county manager's office. We're located in Redwood City at County Center, and we serve all 20 cities in our county, plus our unincorporated area. And we work primarily on sustainability issues. So this was an effort for the county manager to consolidate all of our environmental programs and add new capacity. So we're most famous with our start of Peninsula Clean Energy, which I'm sure you've all interacted with and worked with quite a bit. Beyond PCE, we have 4 work groups that serve our primary program functions. So our first one, waste reduction, I'm just going to go into a little bit about each one. But you've probably have interacted with this one through our free composting classes, or perhaps you've used our database to find out where to recycle, reuse, or dispose of hazardous materials. Our next group is our Livable community group, and this is where we're working on our housing issues as well as our transportation infrastructure issues. And then we have our climate change group, and this one is most famous right now for its sea level rise vulnerability assessment release. This is about a 300-page document that outlines what parts of the county are most at risk to sea level rise and what communities are in those low-lying areas and what assets we have there, and different strategies we can use to make sure that our communities are kept safe when sea level rise does inevitably happen. And then energy and water, that is the group that I work primarily in, and so I'm going to delve deeper into that topic. So we have 2 main funding sources for our energy efforts. I'm going to talk about our San Mateo County Energy Watch group first. This is a program that provides lighting upgrades to local businesses, farms, and schools through Prop 39. And it also has a little bit of money to do strategic energy projects that contribute to our climate action plan. And so that brings us to the Check It Out Home Energy and Water Saving Toolkit. Let me grab it. So this is a relatively new initiative. I started working on it about 2 months ago after several residents had expressed interest in having these at their local county libraries. So
Just pull up a chair to set that on.
kind of cumbersome because it's got a lot of good stuff in it. So these just launched in our libraries on Tuesday, so they're in all 31 libraries across the county, including our bookmobile that goes out to our rural areas. So we're really excited about that. And there's 72 kits in circulation, so library branches have 1 to 4 depending on how many they
Size.
requested. Yeah, and so Brisbane Library has 2.
Awesome.
And they're part of the county library system, so all of the distribution of resources and all that happens through the county library, where I work more closely with the city library since they don't have that central hub. It's really interesting how the library administration works, and I can get into that later if you're curious.
Are you going to be tracking use of the toolkit?
Totally. So we have these all put into the library systems formally, so you can even go online and request one. And through that, the library is tracking how often they're getting used. For me, that's most important because I'm doing inventory management, going to the libraries, providing them the extra tools. But also, it's one of our metrics that we're reporting to our Board of Supervisors. So I just want to show you what's inside of them. So we have some items that residents get to keep and also items that are returned. Everything is to help save energy or water. So we have a free LED light bulb that residents can install in their home. We have a shower head, low flow, that residents can install in their fixtures. We have faucet areas for bathrooms and kitchen sinks that residents can keep. Toilet leak detection dye tabs. Just put in the tank, and if there's a color in the bowl, you know you have a leaking flap there. We also have outlet gaskets, and residents can figure out if they need to insulate those by using our infrared thermometer gun. And this is one of the more exciting tools where you can see where you have air leaks and where you may need insulation and do further work.
Nice.
We also have weather stripping in here that residents can keep. And rebate applications that they can keep
Oh.
through BOSCA. And then another exciting part of this kit that residents do not get to keep is the handbook. And this is really geared towards improving our county's energy literacy and provides a lot of different activities that families or people who aren't so handy can do if they're unsure how to approach the tools. And so I was really excited about this piece. And we'll be translating it to Chinese and Spanish. If there's other language needs, we're
Do you also have that on the website?
Yep, these are all online right now to download. And library branches said they would print it out and give it to the person if they wanted it.
Okay.
And then there's several other audit tools to just measure like how hot your water is, what your flow rate is, as well as a kilowatt meter where you can measure how much electricity your appliances are using, and whether it's really worth using that space heater in the winter if you're better turning on your central heat. So that's what the toolkit looks like, and there's opportunities for customization in each library. If there are a lot of pieces in here that are kind of moving around, but if there's interest to add a Brisbane-specific flyer or another tool you see a need for in this community, there's that opportunity. It would just involve coordination with the library. So that's that. Any questions on that?
Did ours happen to come back yet, Kina? Because we did one several months ago, like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh, it's in your garage?
The city of Brisbane had gone ahead and done their own.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I should be opening up all the brand new toys, so I didn't use a lot of stuff.
Why not?
I didn't
I'll
feel
do it.
Somebody's got to. I was going to say, I'll open them.
brand new toys.
I'm okay with
All right,
that.
well, let's talk about the San Mateo County one.
Okay.
So this one's really cool. It's over $100 worth of items, and what I really like about it is that the libraries are kind of that touch point, and they're the ones that are doing the restocking effort, reporting data to us, fining people if they need to. Right now, we're not charging fines if items go missing, but
So
future.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that there were certain parts that people could keep. So how does that get replenished? Is there like
that's
a
library
fund?
staff.
But I mean, who pays for the
The
LED?
Energy Watch program will be paying for all the items, and so I'll be dropping off restock items at each library for them to keep on site.
Oh, cool.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really nice, because a lot of that stuff people can just keep. And do you have a list that comes with it? And they said, these are the things you're
Yep.
allowed to keep, and
Yeah.
here,
Some libraries
It's all in there.
included that on like a cheat sheet here.
Yeah.
It's all in the handbook too.
I always like cheat sheets, just because most people, oh, perfect, there you go. That's your cheat sheet. You can just make a copy of that and it's
Yeah, exactly.
all done.
We have plans for this to be funded in perpetuity as long as San Mateo County Energy Watch is around.
Cool.
San Mateo County Energy Watch is a partnership between the Office of Sustainability and PG&E, and we receive ratepayer dollars through that partnership.
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah, Barbara spent a long time on ours.
Way a long time on.
You've got
Yeah.
different stuff in there, too.
It's a lot of the same stuff. Ours is actually a little more extensive.
Yeah, yeah.
We did the items to keep and items that, that people can keep
Returned.
and items that can, but we also have a series of coupons too that the city's funding. But we have a whole booklet that we put together that's more extensive, although it's not quite as pretty. It doesn't have the nice graphic layout. But we need to I guess I need to sit down and think about how we're going to combine the two, because there are definitely things that we don't want to lose. This all started because I guess staff talked to the,
It's the same, so we got the
Yeah.
idea from, it was brought up a couple of years ago that Santa Clara County did it. And
Yeah.
I asked about it at the time, and it didn't get traction because, well, you had said the funding source wasn't identified, so
Yeah.
when the Office of Sustainability, they might have been CCAG, you guys might have been CCAG back then, said, we're not going to do that now, then when Susan Wright was still around,
yeah,
we went ahead and started planning one, so, but there,
it's,
I think we should merge them. I think we should
Yeah.
take the specific things that we've done and augment the toolkits
Do
that
you want
are
us
there.
to let you guys, whoops,
Do you want us also to let you know what we've added and what we've done differently and kind of give you a list?
Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
see
And I
what we've
can, you should be able to see these at the Brisbane Library
Oh.
right now, but if you can't, I can.
we inquired today and they're both out at the moment.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they launched on Tuesday, so,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, but they're both.
Cool. I'm going to reserve one.
Yeah, so that you can have them for up to 3 weeks, and they're holdable, and you can't renew them, so they should be coming back
Yeah.
soon.
Cool.
Cool.
But yeah, we should definitely find a way to integrate, because like I said, the libraries have really found a way to automate this process where it's less of you having to stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Your
a
garage.
big delay in our process, is we didn't know how it was going to get restocked.
Yeah.
So I think we could have had it out 6 months or 3 months earlier than we did if we had been able to solve that piece of the puzzle in a more expedited fashion. But since you've solved that piece of the puzzle, that's really good.
Yeah, so it'd be helpful to see what you guys would like to potentially add, and I can connect with the county library system and see. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad it's happening for you all.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
really excited about it.
That's great.
All right, yes.
Is everybody done with Toolkit stuff? Because I wanted to ask, are you still doing all the energy audit for small business if people call you? Is that still on?
Yep, that's through the Energy Watch program as well. And they primarily focus on lighting and refrigeration.
Okay. Is there any thought about expanding that to include other uses of energy?
Yes, yeah, there's thought of it, but just in the model that we have with PG&E, that's kind of the limitation right now, as you have to get a certain amount of kilowatt hour savings per dollar spent to prove that you're running a cost-effective program. And right now, lighting is kind of the low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
And it's primarily centered around a direct install program where they'll just come in and take out some screw-based light bulbs, put in LED ones. Yeah.
Are other things identified, or is it pretty much just...
There's other items identified.
So the business has some things that it can do on its own, should it choose to?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then direction to different PG&E rebates and financing options.
Okay. How thorough is this audit? I mean, is it tested for, are buildings tested for leaks, or...
No, I don't believe so. Our contractor, Ecology Action, does all of the audits.
Okay. So if we wanted to know more about those, we should get in touch with them?
You could either go on our website, smcenergywatch.com, or you could go to Ecology Action's website.
Okay, thanks.
Just if I can jump in, we did those audits for a lot of municipal facilities, and Ecology Action is who did them for us too, and they did HVAC upgrades at some of our facilities too, lighting, HVAC. They didn't do like adding insulation like that level, but it was, for us, it was a 10-year, it had to be a 10-year payback. So it had to reduce, and that we used PG&E on-bill financing, so your energy bill comes down, but you continue to pay the same energy bill to pay back that loan. But it has to be paid off within 10 years, whatever the improvement is. So I could give you more detail about what we did at the municipal facilities if you guys want to hear it.
I was just wondering about space heating because that's a big energy sucker, and I was just wondering if they were looking at that and making recommendations about that. That would be the next thing to tackle, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the ROI is on it, but it's usually the largest chunk of a bill, at least in residential.
It's space heating, yeah.
Yeah.
When you say space heating, you mean like a wall unit type?
No,
heater or
it
central?
refers to anything that's used to heat the interior space of a building.
Okay.
And usually that's natural gas, not electric. I think
Yeah.
most places use natural gas. But, it's a significant source of carbon emissions, and it might actually prod some businesses to replace their gas furnace with electric heating, and I don't know, things like that.
It's kind of a sensitive topic, the electrification piece, because it's not code cost effective right now. But that is something that our group has been studying and
So you're
working
on it?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so from using the toolbox that we created at my house, the thing that came up the most, the biggest problem I had was somebody played with a thermostat. So maybe thermostat upgrades might be something to look at too. And I think our bill dropped by half after I reprogrammed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell the family, don't touch.
don't touch.
That might be a sort of intermediate thing that could be done, is programmable thermostats that turn the heat off at night and things like that.
Because PG&E did something like that for the businesses for my office 2-3 years ago, maybe more.
Making sure that when you're out of the office, that the heat was actually off.
It was something to do with flex, and they could, it's something to do with their heating thing where you're not allowed to use your air conditioning during the hot days of summer.
That's flex power, I think.
Yeah,
Flex
that's
power
when-
to override.
Yeah,
That's
when
electricity.
They use the
Yes.
thermostat to tell if you've gone over, and that's basically about it. But but it helped because it was a better thermostat, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we have, I think, a coupon for a programmable thermostat in our toolkit. It's one of the things that we have. I know, it just comes to mind.
That would be a good thing to add to the county toolkit and to the audits too.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to jump in again, in the case of the municipal facilities, we did put programmable thermostats or upgraded ones in a number of facilities. Community center and the library, the senior center didn't have them because they hadn't been, they're older buildings and hadn't been touched in a while. So that is low-hanging fruit that's part of what they do with the
Absolutely.
audit. Yeah.
A programmable thermostat's like $20,
Yeah.
It's cheap for what it'll save you. I mean, I don't know, I haven't actually done the costs, don't actually have the data, but I would think that would be very low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking of one potential issue with adding items to the kit. If you're targeting specifically Brisbane residents, anyone with a county library card can check these out. So you might have someone who just works in Brisbane but really lives in Burlingame or something checking out the kit. Or, I might be in the neighborhood and check it out. And you wouldn't be able to restrict that so just another consideration. But
I think we talked about with our coupon, sorry, keep interrupting, but is offering these reduced prices to encourage people and then taking a look and seeing if it ended up costing us too much, then we might throttle that back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're willing to stick our neck out in the beginning, I think.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I will give you all my information and we can connect about how we can integrate to amp up the Brisbane kits. Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then the next program I want to talk briefly about in our energy group is our residential program through the Bay Area Regional Energy Network. And this is the home upgrade rebate program that provides up to $6,500 for folks who take the whole house approach to energy efficiency. So this is the insulation, looking at the heating, lighting, windows, that sort of thing. And so as a part of our single-family program, we've been recently trying to launch Home Energy Score. And this can either be a sort of mandatory ordinance that requires people to get their home scored, or it can be a voluntary sort of audit for folks who are interested in learning more about their home performance. It's a 1 to 10 rating, kind of considered like the miles per gallon. So understanding if your home's the Prius, a 10, or a Hummer, a 1 on the score. And so we've been trying to connect with our San Mateo County contractors who participate in the home upgrade program and get them on board with Home Energy Score. We've been offering them a $150 rebate to get them to go out there and do more scores. We hosted a training in Burlingame that was attended by about 20 contractors. And we scored someone's home in Burlingame, so we have 1 score in the county so far, and they received a 10. So we're excited about that. But what's really important is making sure we're getting these contractors trained and getting more homes with these scores, so we can make a case at our city council meetings and at our board of supervisors meetings that this is a great way to get into the already built single-family sector, which has been a really tough nut for us to crack. And we're using a lot of energy there, but it's really hard to get the upgrades, even through rebate programs. And so Berkeley has a mandatory score requirement at point of sale, and you can understand why that might be a little challenging with San Mateo County stakeholders, like realtors, for example. But if we can prove that it's something that people in the market want, and that they want to see how much energy a home uses before they put that down payment on, then we can maybe make a case for it and have that sort of policy here. Wow. So I encourage you all to get your home scored if that's something you're interested in.
Sorry, will you say about that rebate again?
So the contractor gets a $150 rebate, and they can charge whatever is reasonable for their services, keeping in mind they get that rebate. So we've seen on average it's costing about $200 to get a score.
Okay.
And so it's a really thorough inspection, and at the end the homeowner gets a report that is kind of like a fact sheet for their home. Will tell them what type of insulation they have and where they have it, their hot water heater, vintage, what type of windows they have, all that sort of stuff, so they can make informed decisions. And then on the flip side, it also informs homeowners of what rebate pathways may be available to fix some of their stuff through the Bay Rand Single Family Program or through PG&E, and maybe through PCE soon. Mm-hmm. And then, there are no questions on that. I provided this data to Karen at the beginning of this year, and this is aggregated data from 2013, so the inception of our programs really until the end of 2016, and it's for all of North County. I'm working on creating a custom one for Brisbane, but some of the data doesn't live with me. Some of it lives with PG&E, so it's been taking a little while to get it complete. But this just gives a general picture of energy program success in North County. It's our single-family program, so you can see that in 3 years we've done 32 projects. That's not necessarily stellar in my book. So it's just some way we can learn about what we're doing and how we can improve. And then this is going into our commercial program, which we talked a little bit about, which is a little bit more successful with 92 projects, and then our municipal program. And so I'll send this out when I have it broken down for Brisbane. It's a little bit more relatable.
Okay.
Then I think that's all I have for you. Oh, I do have some flyers on the toolkit and our office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
It's all recycled.
Yeah.
So your role is mostly to be a resource person for cities? Is that kind of how we should understand what you do?
That's one of the roles. implementing these programs, being a resource for cities. So a lot of cities outreach on these programs too, and host workshops and presentations. We also do a little bit of the like program management of these programs. So they're regional programs, but we take on leadership role for the whole Bay Area region. And we also do a lot of outreach to residents in our unincorporated area. There's 40 of us in our office doing this similar kind of work.
Wow.
Yeah, on different programs.
Cool.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, you're welcome. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Do you guys want more toolkit flyers?
It might be good to have, well, we probably have enough. We might post them in stores and stuff around town that will take them.
I'll leave them with Karen.
Okay.
I don't think we need a whole lot.
We don't have a lot of stores.
True.
True story.
This is great, though.
Yeah.
Were you trying to turn off the projector?
Yeah, Julia told me it's kind of shut off very easy, so just leave it.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys are excited about it.
We're the most excited people in Brisbane about this.
Yeah, we have that.
Well, somebody's excited. We've already, two of them were out already. It's only been since Tuesday, so that's awesome.
That is really good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours was practically done for a day in the park, which was last
October.
October.
Into
No,
September.
September.
Into September.
And you and I, we did the library. We did a thing at the library today, so it's all exciting.
We could put this up on the board too, in the library would be a great place to keep this.
Yeah, not necessarily a thing in the Office of Sustainability, but we stuffed the board pretty good. But this, maybe we can find room for these.
You can find it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Who's running this meeting anyways?
Glenn,
Glenn.
It was a coup.
it was a coup, yeah.
Even better. Overthrown?
Yeah. Just for a moment.
Yeah, I'm channeling Alexander Haig here. I'm in control.
I like that. Go, girl.
So for all the multitudes out there waiting to comment, we are ready.
Oral communication. Next.
So it looks like we need to approve the minutes. I looked through these. I thought they were good. I'm ready to approve them. Anybody else?
Approve.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think it's worked out well to send you guys the draft minutes ahead of time and.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
What a revelation.
well, it's, to schedule stuff to be able to do that, so.
Yeah.
Well, we only got off paper, 2 years ago or something?
Yeah, and, we're ahead of the curve on that, too. So this is a list of all the subcommittees, and obviously, all of them don't have a report, but we just posted.
Wow.
So we could work off of it.
It's probably good to have it all in our meetings so we don't forget.
Are we getting a agenda for the CAP meetings in email? Because I couldn't find it. I went looking for, we used to get them.
That was
Really?
when Natalie was here.
Yeah.
think when we emailed about the meeting date, I listed possible
Okay.
agenda items last time, but,
I searched and I couldn't find it in my email, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there because my email is an abyss.
right, to use to be able to report out tonight is what you're,
Yeah, I mean, it would be just useful because my brain has gone 16 million different places between now and then, and I'm like, I know we talked about stuff. We talked about Glenn's staff training, and she had a bunch of stuff on that, and that was really great. And
What are we giving,
Oh.
yeah, we're giving reports. Okay, go ahead.
I guess.
You're on a roll.
No, I'm not. I'm struggling and floundering. We talked about the toolkit a little bit, and
county open data portal.
yeah, we had some things to talk about the county open data portal. Who did we decide was going to rewrite that? We decided the existing text was just kind of
Yeah, I think.
Irrelevant.
I actually asked Bob that. I think we focused mostly on the data that was kind of,
oh yeah, there was some
Theirs?
problems with the data.
so I guess you guys kind of left it to us, because I was hoping maybe Glenn would step in. and she could-
Yeah.
So we can take
Yeah.
a first crack at it, and then maybe you guys can edit what we draft.
Yeah.
We also talked a little bit about our proposed ordinance, energy upgrade ordinance. And did you guys send out the draft ordinance that we did on point of sale, energy upgrade stuff?
No, but we have it. I think that's what we talked about, was that.
Yeah, I would like to take another look at it.
Yeah.
I've just kind of forgotten. Part of the reason I'd like to look at it now is that this home energy score and everything, we should incorporate that into our,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the plan, because
Yeah.
the county's been talking about that, wanting that agencies all adopt that, and Bayren and Stop Waste, or at least Point Corvo staffs now, they're all using that home energy score.
so it's good to know there are contractors who know how to do it.
Yeah, and they didn't have any in San Mateo County until recently, so that's nice that
So now we've got, I guess, 20 who went to that training that she mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing we talked about. We talked about trying to figure out a way to get in touch with locally owned businesses in the industrial park.
Right.
Yeah. That's been something that's just been
That goes on and on.
on and on and on and on and on. It's like a serpent threading its way through my entire OSEC career.
I have a question about subcommittees. I mean, this is a lot of subcommittees.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of wondering, I sent you a copy, I think, of the email that I sent in the form of a public comment to Parks and Rec about separating the waste stream from city events, like the concerts at Mission Blue, for example. So I wonder, maybe this is premature, but I wonder if we could use a standing subcommittee to work with Parks and Rec on things, because I think there's some other things we've discussed about with working with them.
Yeah, there is a waste stream subcommittee that's Michelle and Michael. Would that fall under there?
Maybe so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I could ask them about doing that, having a standing one on that item, which is a good point, and there's kind of been movement towards doing that. Staff is working on it, just in response to your email.
Oh, good, okay.
There's just the departmental coordination, so there's an analyst that does special projects that's responsible for the franchise agreements, Maria. I don't know if you guys know Maria. And
Maria's cute.
and she also is the one that manages the grants. There are some recycle grants where you can purchase recycling containers, like we have the one outside of City Hall. That was something that she purchased recently.
Okay.
So there's that element, and she's the one that she works with South San Francisco Scavenger, because it's their franchise agreement, and tracks waste and reports to the state and all of that. And then there's the Recreation Department and Commission that's putting on these events, and then there's Public Works. So Public Works' role is to manage the public trash cans. So now, in most cases, we just have trash receptacles in town. So we've been using, when the economy slowed down, and one of the ways the city dealt with it was to not hire new people. Some people took on extra work, but we used I think it was at that time, because I wasn't directly involved back then, but we used a contractor, so I don't know if anybody's seen them, Universal Building Services, and they empty the public trash cans in town. But we're just getting to the point of hiring a part-time person. So we're trying to figure out would it work if we wait till then, or do we have building attendants if we had compost that could deal with it and scavenger would come pick it up? So the Universal Building Service now collects the trash and they take it to the hauler, and I think they take it to Recology in this case, one or the other, I'm not sure. So it's how it's going to happen and what's the most cost effective. There are a lot of little moving parts to fit together to gear up to do recycling and compost, but definitely that's another low-hanging fruit item that we should be on top of. I mean, I don't know why not. In some cases, you have to find space. Mission Blue, if we need a green container, we might have to put it in the back. It would be kind of ugly if it were in the front.
Well, they have a trash can there anyway. I mean, it's not going to be any worse than the trash can.
Well, those can be made a little more, made to blend with structure,
I think I have some pictures of a lovely little portable 3-bin recycling receptacle that I saw at the Cherry Creek Arts Festival last summer. I think I sent it to you guys. I'll see if I can find it and send it again.
I don't remember getting that, but maybe you did, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, but then that would be something that we could take and bring to a facility, but scavenger wouldn't come and empty that.
Oh.
So then you'd have your building attendant take those bags, like here at City Hall, we have compost. Our janitor takes those bags and puts them outside in our receptacle, and that's what scavenger picks up once a week. So there's steps.
Boy, everything is complicated. Well, I got one response to my comment, which was very enthusiastic. So, I mean, one way to deal with that is volunteers. You have a volunteer to collect the trash and take it somewhere where a scavenger will deal with it. That's one option.
That's a big, at those concerts, the volunteers play a big role in making those things
They do.
happen, right? So.
They already do, yeah. I don't know about other park and rec events, whether they have the same level of volunteerism. But, so maybe we don't need another committee. Maybe should I forward my email to Michelle and Michael, or?
Well, let me talk to staff and
Okay.
let you guys know, because, I mean, I don't think anybody's opposed to the idea. It's just a matter of
It's just doing it.
how to make it happen, right?
Okay.
So policy-wise, I mean, I guess we could formalize that you guys are recommending, and Park and Rec also is on board. And if it ends up, if we want to do it throughout the city all at once, that'll cost something that maybe we do need to ask council to fund. But if we kind of go site to site,
Okay.
we might be able to roll it out
Okay.
out of an operational budget.
Well, my comments in there, I don't think they've met since I turned it in. Don't they have a budget too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But then, well,
Fine with me. I'm willing to wait and see. The machinery is complicated, clearly.
yeah. But it's a great idea. It's been a thought, and I think that coming from the committee, it moves that kind of thing forward, it's valuable, because it's just one of the things that staff's trying to do, and when we hear that it's a priority, then we'll prioritize it,
Okay. Well, it just came from me. I mean, I mentioned that I was on the committee, but I didn't say it was a committee thing, because it wasn't.
Well, let me look at what would be involved, at least at Mission Blue, and if it's something that it's meaningful to have OSEC recommend, then I'll put it on the next agenda that
Okay.
the chair can.
That'd be good.
Yes.
I'm sure we'd be glad to recommend it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, yeah, well, that's waste stream. No, don't switch. We're going through this list. Day in the park, still a little early to get that started, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
A little.
What, last year, May?
Yeah.
Next month, maybe we'll just
Yeah.
put it to discuss it.
Education and outreach isn't actually doing anything active right now. Glenn, I think they're still recycling your climate facts.
Hang on a sec.
And then I just sent a reminder email about the kiosks for the education and outreach. If
they wanted to get together with a meeting,
Oh,
because that came up at the last meeting. You asked me to send out a reminder email, which I sent. So if there's
Was it today?
No, it was weeks ago, but come up with ideas for a poster idea for the empty kiosk on Quarry Road.
Oh, yeah. That kiosk.
Yeah.
Didn't we cooperate with Parks and Rec on that one before?
I don't know, but it's not that involved because the metal sign was like $100. So
Okay.
come up with a sign, we can get a sign made.
I'm perfectly happy with the sign that was already there. I thought it was pretty attractive. I wonder if we could just copy it onto...
Don't we, isn't there
Metal.
another copy of that sign somewhere?
no, I think that was the one and only.
Okay,
That's the one that says, "Welcome to Quarry Road Park."
okay.
And right now, it's cardboard or fiberboard, and it's kind of
Yeah.
warped.
But there's another completely empty
Yeah, and there was
kiosk.
discussion about the empty kiosk right by Quarry Road if you wanted to have a different type of message.
Are you talking about the one by Lippman?
Yeah, the one right by Littman, we had it, when I went out there when the signs were graffitied, there was that empty one that we had discussed.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who that belongs to. We talked about this before because that kiosk has been empty for a really long time, and it might belong to Mountain Watch.
Yeah, did Michelle say that last time?
Mountain Watch, I think she did.
Yeah, we showed the pictures of them, and I believe that one, it was the wooden one, right?
Yeah, it's the one right next to the driveway of Lippman.
It was like 2 meetings ago, so I don't think either of us are completely sure, but that does sound right. And I think that we talked about the fact that Mountain Watch didn't have funding, so she said, go for it.
Oh, so we actually could use that space.
We can, as long as there's not something permanent, maybe, you know.
I mean, I think if you guys come up with something, we can
Yeah,
pass it by Mountain Watch.
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Do we need a committee to do that?
Well, you kind of have one. I thought you guys had asked for Education and Outreach Committee to do that, so,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
whoever
Yeah,
can,
we can do that.
that'd be great. And so as we go down the list, Climate Facts is on hiatus. We can take that off the list for now, so it doesn't feel like this thing that's on
Damn, he's hanging over my head.
We did 50, we did a year's worth, and
Maybe we could recycle some of those. Although I really doubt that anybody actually read them.
I get, when I say that, I got a little bit of like pushback to put the same thing up, but I can ask. I can recycle them,
Okay. Yeah, I don't have time to do any more right now.
right? Habitat Restoration Days,
How'd it go? Did you go, Michael?
we have that in
The Habitat Restoration Days?
updates, right?
That was Saturday?
No, I didn't.
Was it this
So
Saturday?
we have that in staff updates, let's wait till then, because Bob's got a couple pictures, and I think then the subcommittee will meet again for the next one in June. It's gonna be at Costaños Canyon.
Right.
I don't think, there's nothing to talk about Whitman or the open space plan update right now, correct?
Well, let me jump in. Open Space Plan update, we have a meeting set for May 10th.
Great.
Brisbane Acres Preservation Concerns, that one, I guess I should ping back the city attorney, because he wrote the memo that we reviewed, right? Did he come to a meeting?
Yeah. Stuart?
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
he here? I think so, yeah.
Yes. So that's to be brought to council, and as you guys know, council's been meeting once a month and doing a lot with the Bayland, so that might be why that's not been
Yeah.
back.
Well, just get back to us and let us know where it's at, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes these threads get frayed and you have to kind of weave them back into the
Absolutely.
process.
Absolutely. OSEC library shelf, it sounds like.
Oh.
guys.
Yeah, Megan and I, high five, we totally redid it today.
Good job.
Megan and I both took pictures. I posted a picture to Facebook. We've divided it into 3 different sections. The bottom section has the stuff we've had there for a long time, where people take and return. like books and movies, and it's got the thing that the library staff did, which is like branches that you can write your ideas to save the earth on little leaves and hang them on the branches. So that's still there, but it's kind of taken the bottom third. And the middle third we dedicated to the toolkit. I blew up and printed out some stuff. They didn't actually have a whole lot online, at least the link didn't go anywhere. In the email blast I got from the Office of Sustainability, it just had like a little blurb, and I clicked through and it was another little blurb. But I managed to like do a little layout.
Emotional bit.
Yeah, and turn it into a thing. And then the top third is the trail section thing we did last time, so we just need to get it on some kind of rotation where we can move things in and out.
Keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh, so. You want to maybe send that picture, can you?
I've got it here, I can send it off to the,
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
When you mentioned trails, well, staff update, I don't want to interject in the wrong place, but still waiting to see the version of the map from the bike ped master plan. So they're going to make a little folding map of Brisbane. They're going to have this part of town blown up and then the Ridge, Crocker on the other side, and points of interest. So we'll definitely want feedback on whether we've covered everything without making it too crowded.
Yeah.
And then that would be good for the shelf once it's done.
Yep, absolutely. Depending on when that comes, that might be our next section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing invasive species articles. Natalie had kind of taken that over. I'm guessing Mr. Sage doesn't have time to do those right now.
No, we could put it on
Hours.
for new staff to.
So I could go back to doing them, but not right now. I'm kind of, a little drowning in it.
Yeah. This list wasn't meant to pressure anybody. It was just to be a tickler. If you do have something you want to update, you should be updating on each of these items.
That's what I found.
Some are more active than others at different times.
We have stuff we can add to the sustainability webpage. We were going to add all the stuff from the toolkit. Now, did I need to resend that to you?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I think we were also hoping that Glenn was going to go through it once.
Okay.
And I've gone through part of it, and you said it was going to be summer before you.
Yeah,
That right.
so you still do want me to go through it?
Or it can just go up on the website. I'm not that worried about it. I'm sure there's still typos in it because I'm the queen of typos. I have articles I wrote 5 years ago that I'm still finding typos in.
Why don't you just put it up?
Yeah, I think just put it up, and if
And I'll look
people
it over
find
at some
typos,
point.
they can fix them.
Then you can tell you and you can fix it.
Okay, typos are my kryptonite, so I'll try to.
Are they your kryptonite?
Yes, they are.
I don't think anybody will mind a few typos.
I mind typos terribly when I read them in other places,
Especially when you-
but I still can't manage to.
They just are human, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've taught too many students to really worry about typos.
Exactly.
Just got a big picture of the package. Okay.
Sustainability, we haven't done much on that. I actually just made myself a note to look into it just to kind of see where we are. I talked to the invasive species people in Redwood City, so I need to kind of follow up with them, maybe put some more information on.
Freshen that up. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's been a while, so I'll get with Camelia and we'll look at that before May,
Okay.
because it's been a while.
The Parkside plan is just there as a placeholder if there's another specific role for, because that's not finalized, and I don't think it's coming back to the council till after the Baylands, but should there be any more roles?
Oh, the Green Building Subcommittee's not on here.
And I think that was, didn't we hear back, or,
Yeah, that's kind of over,
Yeah.
I think.
Done.
No?
I don't think so.
I think so. I think it's either on hiatus or stopped because the state has,
Yeah, and we were talking about when is the new ordinance going to be released, and we need to start looking at it. It's what, the next code cycle is 2017 or something?
We just did an add-on for solar ready, remember?
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of going to go like that we were going to do add-on things instead of a whole new green building ordinance. I think that was sort of...
Yeah, no, I don't think we're doing a whole new green building ordinance, but I think we need to be on top of what the green building ordinance, what changes there are, and, we've tried to do training classes here before, and just to get the contractors involved.
Yeah, and I'm not in any way saying that we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
This committee won't have an active part in that, but that committee that was a joint planning commission, OSEC committee, asked for by council, that's kind of defunct, but that doesn't mean that we can't.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, no, I agree. The formal, trying to do a green building ordinance thing, we're past that right now, but we still had I thought the green building subcommittee was still active in other ways.
As an OSEC subcommittee.
Yeah.
So is it the Climate Action Plan Subcommittee effectively, or is it different?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because the Green Building Ordinance Subcommittee was a joint committee, as
Okay.
Karen said. Kima and I were the OSEC representatives, and then Dave Reinhardt and Karen Cunningham were on for planning. So that committee, that was one of the more formally constituted subcommittees I've been on.
Yeah.
And that
I
way.
didn't mean that one specifically. I meant,
Okay.
continuing the process of green building.
We have the Climate Action Plan Subcommittee.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, the question is, do you want it to be labeled separately so that we remember to report on it, and would it be the same people or different people? It'd probably be the same people, right?
Yeah, I mean, my sense is that if we don't give it its own title, it's going to get lost and buried, but...
Come on, Barbara, you're on the Climate Action Plan Subcommittee, and you won't let it get lost and buried.
Yeah.
Yes, I will, because it's been a long time since I've thought about it.
No, I think we're on it.
Okay. You have more faith in me than I do.
A climate action plan / green building.
There would have to be so many slashes there.
That would be
That's
a
a
whole
big
bunch of
one.
slashes. The Climate Action Plan Subcommittee is good enough. Expanding.
It may have more slashes than Miley Cyrus's jeans.
Well, Climate Action Plan has many different chapters and domains of applicability. It makes total sense.
I wanted to ask though, maybe this is another subcommittee that somehow got eaten by the Climate Action Plan Subcommittee, but weren't we working at one point, wasn't there a lighting ordinance subcommittee? Night sky type thing?
Yeah.
That's a good point. That is not Eaton. That was Bob. No. There are people assigned to it. I know that's Michelle has a particular interest in it, so I believe
I
there
think
were
it was me and
people.
Michelle.
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
So that needs to be on the list. That's, I think, going to take more staff to get that rolling.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I'm interested in it is that the night lighting in the industrial park area has expanded by orders of magnitude, I would swear, in the last 6 months. Yeah, I come through there on my way home from work. And when I come through after dark, it is really lit up, and it's because LEDs.
Oh, just the high-intensity LEDs.
High-intensity LEDs, and a lot of them are aimed kind of out. I mean, they're very bright, and I would like to nip that in the bud if we could.
And you don't think that's due to safety issues, that they're feeling that they need to light up their...
You don't need to light up the sky. I have a neighbor who's got these super bright lights that come on randomly and they're pointed up, there's nobody parachuting down towards his cheap little house.
Right. I've got one of those, too.
He's watching. You think he's watching?
I doubt it.
But, if people are going to use lights, they should be shaded, and they really, I find it hard to believe that there's that much crime in Brisbane that they need these horrible floodlight,
Yeah.
bright things. And there seem to be more every time I drive through the industrial park.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll definitely get it back on the list and try to like, see if we can take a small bite instead of like,
Giant.
getting the complete ordinance done. Maybe we can start with that, and maybe that's more manageable.
There is a sample ordinance. I think I've looked this up before.
There's a model lighting ordinance, there's
Yeah.
a lighting organization that has one, yeah. That'll go back on the list. For sure.
Oh, I think you can take the letter to the city council on land use consideration for the Baylands. I feel like that's done and behind us.
I feel like it's done.
Yeah, take that one off. Make
Okay.
that one go away.
We did it.
Put the lighting
Yeah.
one right there, okay.
Boom.
All right, and then this hopefully
Christmas
will be
tree?
a positive one, the Christmas tree, there's a meeting set for
May
that
3rd.
for, yeah, right. Michael and Megan.
What's the date again?
May 3rd.
It's next
6:30.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
This place,
Put it
not
on
this
the
place,
calendar.
Same building.
yeah,
But it's going to be at the Little Room.
yeah. All right,
Park and Rec.
Awesome. It was good to go over that because it was kind of needed a refresher.
Yay.
well, we do have the planner on the list, but we've listed the stuff under staff updates, so we can skip the planner, and somehow it got dropped off the list. Next month, we'll elect a new chair and vice chair.
Okay.
That was the only significant thing. So moving on, and so we've combined on the agenda, subcommittee reports, the calendar, which now I've told you what's current on the calendar, and chair and committee member matters. So if there are any other committee member bring up matters, this is the time.
The only thing I'd like to bring up, I don't know, it didn't even matter, but I was at Costco after we had our nice library board, and there's this huge, I know there's not probably anything we can do about it, but Roundup with these beautiful 35 gallons, $39.99, purple, it's so pretty, and I'm like, ugh. I guess there's just really nothing we can do about Roundup, is there?
Not at Costco.
I mean, period.
We can ask the city not to use it.
Yeah.
The city doesn't use it.
That won't make a difference.
That's why it's
Boycott
wasting
it.
more weeds on our facilities.
Walk up.
Every time somebody mentions it on the Residents of Brisbane Facebook page, everybody's like, boo, boo. So at least opinions are changing, right?
Sorry to back up, but I think, didn't we have a subcommittee working on an invasive species ordinance?
Yeah?
That's,
Is that the invasive species articles down at the bottom?
Nope.
no, because that was different.
It's a law.
The ordinance.
Yep.
Yes,
That's why I have the invasive species on my mind, because I'm on that committee, and that's
I
not on.
forget who else is on it. Am I on it? I might.
I don't think I'm on it.
No, you're not on it. It was me, but I don't
maybe
remember
it's
who
someone that's
else.
not here. Maybe it's
Camille with me? I don't remember who else was on it.
possibly,
Yeah.
yeah. I think they got cut off when we changed the format. It's on the original list, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I kept going, invasive species, and I forgot about the sustainability website, so.
We're not trying to take things off. We're not trying to take things off your plate.
I believe you.
No, I was
just gotta
just
keep them because,
kind of scratching my memory to see
yeah.
if that was all of them, and noticed that one.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Anything else, chair and committee member matters?
Yeah, I just was going to share with everybody, Wednesday, May 3rd, I'm planning on tootling in my electric car down to Burlingame High School to see a showing of Before the Flood. So,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Rio's film, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another one I'm planning on tootling off to, which is May 6th, 9 to noon, Menlo Park, water efficient edible gardening, which is something you don't see a lot. You see a lot of like water-efficient native gardening and water-efficient succulent gardening, but you don't often see people talking about water efficiency in edible gardens. So I'm very excited.
And where did you find out about those?
I spent a lot of time on the BayRen, the Office of Sustainability, and there's a third one with the websites and their calendars, and I'm always like checking their calendars to see what kind of events they've got. So, which reminds me is today and tomorrow are in Sacramento, gosh, I lost it. California Green Summit. That I was really wishing I could have gone to, but not this week.
I wonder if we could put links to those sites that you just mentioned
On our sustainability
on our
page.
sustainability page, because,
Yeah?
a lot of gardeners in Brisbane, and
Yeah.
people might be interested to know that those
Are available.
calendars are out there.
Yeah.
Link to the calendars and then also highlighting the one that you were just talking about. What are the dates of those?
The movie's on the 3rd, and the edible gardening's on the 6th.
What time is it on the 3rd?
It's in the evening. It is...
Shoot, I can't go to the 6th.
I didn't put down the time, but I think it's the 7 o'clock.
Oh, 7 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't go to that either. All right, never mind. I was going to go with you.
Yeah, that would be
I
fun.
can't. My daughter's in on the 6th, and the 3rd we have our
Yeah.
Christmas tree meeting, so.
If you forward that, I can try to get it in the weekly blast too.
Yeah. It's just on I think that one was those were both from the Office of Sustainability's website. Theirs is the best.
Okay.
They aggregate most of the events, but they don't catch everything, so.
Oh, that'd be good. So maybe just put the one link.
Yeah.
Okay.
BayRen had a residential energy conservation workshop this morning too, but there wasn't any way I was going to make it to that either. So, do we have anybody or know anybody who's going to the California Green Summit? I'm super jealous.
No, I don't even think I knew about that one until you emailed about it.
Oh, and it was today and tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I listened to
Right, I was curious about that.
what the hell was it called again? I have to get back to my right place in the calendar. It was a 1-hour webinar on how council and commissions can move forward on green issues.
Oh.
And it was not quite as good as I was hoping. It was more of a consultant saying, hey, these are the great things we do. And but I contacted the person and they sent me the slides, and there's definitely some good information embedded in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, you should, if you share it with
Yeah.
staff. we
I think the
can-
whole committee would like
Yeah.
to see those.
Yeah.
Could you send them to Karen and then?
Yeah, hopefully my email will let me, my email sometimes gets persnickety about sending large files, but I think I can forward those.
So we have that issue too.
Yeah.
I think the city has Hightail accounts and Dropbox accounts if you use those.
Yeah, but
Dropbox, I'm pretty sure.
I don't like using those things.
Dropbox is.
There's a
One more thing I gotta learn.
web page called Small PDF, and you can compress a PDF, and it usually does a phenomenal job.
I think it's it was a slideshow, so
That'd be big.
probably not a PDF, but a PowerPoint, yeah.
PP.
So, I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, it's usually huge. PowerPoints are huge.
Yeah.
PowerPoints you can save as a PDF if it's
Okay.
Outlook. So
All right.
then-
Forgot about that.
I'll open it up. I just got it
Makes it
today,
smaller.
and I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll open it up and,
Yeah, we run into that all the time, so I usually save as a PDF, and then that small PDF will shrink it and spit it back if you still have a size.
okay.
Multiple steps, or you could put it on a thumb drive and bring it down. So
I might just,
yeah,
they give
sometimes.
me an opportunity to walk my dog, so,
Drop it off and I can forward it along.
yeah. So, that's all for my, there's tons more stuff on the sustainability website. There's all about transportation and fuel, and there's just tons and tons of stuff. But those were the ones that I was most excited about. So ones I'm actually driving to, if anybody out there wants to catch a ride with me.
And you're hybrid. You're
In my cool electric Batmobile.
electric Batmobile, yeah.
Carpool and then register, log in on commute.org.
Yep.
It's the commuter challenge,
Mm-hmm.
April and May, and prizes, they have prizes and drawings.
Yep.
Slides?
Before we move on,
Okay.
I'd just like to throw out a couple things. One, next month, I'm going to be gone, so I'm not going to be able to be here. And then when we were going over the subcommittee list, I never saw anything about the gardening plot and creating a new garden.
Oh, yeah.
That's at the point that it's on the CIP list that the council will, at some point, look at and decide what they want to fund. So we
Okay.
have asked for money to expand the community garden.
Okay, so it's just basically done then?
Yeah, and I think they're planning to do that in the fall.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, but you are attending the, which one is it, the Christmas tree meeting before you go? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be be leaving the, packing on the 26th, basically.
Okay. So
It's
is it
going to be it.
correct to assume that you don't want an office next year?
Oh, I nominate anybody who is not named Michael Abney.
Understood.
Here you go.
Slides. Well, we didn't talk which one of us is doing this. Do you want to do an update?
Sure. Okay, so on Saturday, there was about 40 people that came out to Mission Blue and Monarch for the cleanup. That and Ariel from San Bruno Mountain Watch gave a really nice presentation in the beginning, and he passed out these pamphlets that went over the history of the open space surrounding Brisbane and kind of remind everybody how unique that is to have such a wonderful open space in the area. And then he kind of went over his new really tied in the culture of Brisbane and had pictures of the murals and how everyone has kind of fought to protect the open space. And it was a really interesting little pamphlet he put together to get everybody excited to start gardening, or pulling weeds, I should say. So then the focus was fennel and broom, and there's everyone getting to work. And then there was quite a big broom pile. I was pretty impressed that it all got taken out. So there's just, it was about 3 hours of pretty serious weed pulling, and then a lunch which was provided by the Parks and Rec Department. There's the pile, and that's only a portion of the pile, and there's piles above and below, and it was, there was a lot. And so, there's a calendar. Did
the Jericho guys come out from the Jericho Project? Because I went over and talked to them, and they were really interested. I don't know if they made it.
I don't know who they are, so
Bunch of big guys.
I didn't see a bunch of big guys.
Oh, it didn't look like it in the pictures.
I didn't see it.
Military.
I can't say that there might not have been a couple, but there was not a large group.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because they were really interested. I mean, I had talked to the guys about it, and then I went in and took a poster to them. So, and she was like, "Oh, we were just talking about something about doing this type of thing." So,
Oh, free lunch,
I was
T-shirt.
hoping they'd showed up.
Yeah, Recology provided the T-shirts, and then, yeah, it was...
Good.
So far, nobody's got poison oak, right?
Yeah, I was only there for a short time because, once again, I forgot to load my son up with antihistamines. And for something about that site is particularly bad on him.
I remember last time he got.
Yeah, last time we had to leave early too because he was just like,
Yeah, he was.
and this year I forgot. And Michelle even was like, you said that last year too, and I'm like, you're right, I did.
Poor kid.
I don't know, something about that site is just really hard. What I wanted to say is, I didn't get one of those pamphlets. Are there any more of those?
I don't know that he passed them out.
Oh, okay.
He might have taken them back. I don't know that, I didn't see what happened. They maybe collected them and he kept them.
Okay.
Probably has some at Mountain Watch.
Yeah. It would be interesting.
Okay, we don't have to
'cause
do
I
any
missed
park.
that. I got there a little late because I went to another Earth Day event.
I did too. I went to the climate march, the scientist march, I'm sorry.
Science March. Oh, yeah, the Climate March is this Saturday.
Yeah.
That's another one.
The climate march this Saturday is in Oakland. Unfortunately, the Lake Bart station is closed.
What?
Yeah,
That's a problem.
yeah, it really is. I checked
Wow.
today online.
Been working
There's
on it.
something else in Marin, and I might go to that instead.
Okay. Bike to Work Day!
Bike to Work Day is coming up in a couple of weeks. I checked in with rec department staff, and I don't know his last name right now. Ricardo is the staff person assigned, and Susan Maynard used to kind of coordinate volunteers, and she's moved away, so Michael Barnes is stepping up, I guess, his involvement, because he has been involved in past years, but I was told that the commute.org likes to track how many volunteers there are, so if anyone from OSEC is going to volunteer, they would like you to sign up there,
Okay.
so that they know how many people are going to be involved, so.
Sign up at upstairs?
No, at commute.org,
Oh, commute.org. Okay.
because they're tracking.
Done that before. All right.
Yeah.
That was just show up.
Which is also welcome, they said.
Michael Barnes, what time are people staffing the tables? Because it's always earlier than I think. Do we know?
I did not get that information, but I think the Energizer stations, as I remember, open at like 6:30 or 7, so they probably want
Okay.
staffing.
Are we going to try and do the map this time that we failed to do last time?
I thought you did do it.
Well, I tried to do it, but then the easels never showed up.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
So,
No, I haven't set that up, and I don't know that we have maps, because we don't have Michelle at this meeting. Did we have extra
Yeah.
maps from last year?
did I give the map to you and then the easel didn't show up? Or did I get them from you? Maybe I still have them. I'll check at home. That was a whole year ago. Criminy.
There were some maps.
Mm-hmm. There were definitely maps at one point.
And did you also
but
bring
they
the
weren't
pens that
right
you had people?
maps. They're sections or something. There was a different map that was supposed to have the big layout. So you could say from here, 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 here.
Okay, well, we'll have to exchange emails about that because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at this moment in time, so I may bug you for easels if I can find maps.
Okay, yeah.
Sure it wasn't Michelle?
Michelle provided them,
Oh,
but they went from there, they went somewhere.
okay.
Because I wasn't going to make it till later.
Okay.
And then when I did show up, the easel wasn't there, and it was just a boondoggle. It just didn't happen last year.
Yeah. Well, I thought people had marked on it, and, yeah.
2 years ago, we had
Oh,
one.
okay, all right.
Yeah, but my marking, that thing didn't show up very well. So we're going to try different things this time.
Okay. San Mateo County Parks does an annual field day for the HCP partners. The board is the city managers from each of the agencies, surrounding agencies, so our city manager attended, and I attended again because I have a lot to learn about this aspect, and Bob came this year, and he thought it was a really interesting time. We talked about things like the areas that weren't priority what should we do about emerging invasive species threats, balancing emerging priorities and maintenance areas, other emerging threats to endangered butterflies besides scrub, access to the mountain from surrounding communities, and rare plants that aren't necessarily butterfly habitat, and just kind of talked about the big picture of what the goal is, for the HCP, and how the county is managing it. So it's more of an informative, it was very informative. It's more of an annual update for the trustees, but staff also was invited to attend, so we just wanted to tell you that happened, and we're continuing to be informed.
Did they give you a
a list of emerging invasive species or anything like that?
No, they didn't provide a list, but as we kind of walked along, it was interesting that there's quite a few biologists there that discussed the overall health of the mountain. And one takeaway I had, it's the most studied park within the San Mateo County system, and, it was really refreshing to see how many really dedicated kind of biologists were, both volunteer and paid, helping to manage it, and, how much thinking they're doing to keep managing it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, if we did talk about a specific one, it was hard to take notes on a hike.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I just wondered if they gave you a handout or something.
Yeah, no.
I was up on the Summit Trail recently, and it looked like there were some pretty bad infestations of invasives up there, so I'm kind of curious what the county is doing as far as maintenance, because there's a lot of oxalis up on the summit, and I don't remember that being there in the past.
Yeah, and I think that was part of, and I would say that this trip and this conversation did not lead to concrete answers, but that was a question, is like, how do you prioritize work areas? Do you always prioritize the highest quality sites?
Mm-hmm.
When would it be appropriate to prioritize lower quality sites? Like, it is a balance, and we've talked about that their budget is not that big, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, many.
More to, we can talk about this more when we'll have Shelter Belt come back this year and talk about what we do on our property, and I thought that would be helpful when we have them come back to inform the invasive species ordinance kind of goal is, you guys know quite a lot about what's going on too, but they have an expertise in having worked on the acres and for the county for a number of years to kind of give us some input too.
That'd be good.
Then we did meet with Shelter Belt and went and kind of hiked the site, and they're set to start on Firth Canyon restoration. It's not in the HCP, so we didn't need a site activity permit. We've sent notification to all the neighbors within 300 feet. I was informally telling the Mountain Watch people at the Habitat Restoration Day so that they're aware, and it's going to be on the website and blasted and on social media if it hasn't been already. They plan to take about 3 weeks. It's great conditions, just like it was at Habitat Restoration Day. The ground is soft, and it's not too hot. They're gonna remove ivy, some broom that's on public property. There are a couple of cherry blossom, usually are bushes, so they're not within the size that requires a tree removal permit or would, even though we would issue it. But they grow sprouts and they kind of spread quickly. And then I did get a request to look at acacia, so I might try to take down what's there. And then they will be putting erosion control measures in. And we did get a budget that is expected to cover all that, but if the cost comes in below, we talked about replanting some of the areas, so planting some natives back if we can.
Fine with me.
So you'll see, they'll have a truck probably at Firth Park during the day, and they're going to have a dumpster right on Sierra Point, right at the base of the canyon. So just so everybody knows that's happening.
Cool.
Oh yeah, the sandbag drop-off. Yay, take them back.
Yay.
Yep, so we're moving forward on this starting next week, and I think they've already cleared the stall since the rainy season is over. And so we'll have it all set up in the same spot, and this is going to go out on the webpage and social media, and so we just kind of finished up the flyer recently, and it's going to go out by the end of the week, I believe, and be a chance for them to drop it off, so the guys can get them off the streets.
Great.
Yay.
Cool.
So I've been talking about this project with you guys for months and months and months, and some of the prep work happened 3 to 4 weeks ago. And if you guys do remember, I don't want to go too into detail, but we'll grind, the contractor will grind the existing asphalt to 3 inches depth and mix it on site, do a cold mix with asphalt emulsion and with cement, and repave that and let it cure. We had to lower the manholes that are in the street so that, this grinding equipment could not
Go
hit
over
steel. It would just,
Destroy it.
teeth would break, it would be destroyed. And there's a fiber optic, joint trench network going up the number 1 northbound lane. You probably see the manholes, they're in sets of 4. And that was a big endeavor, basically to contact all them and let them know that was going to happen, because those companies change, overnight. They change names and get bought and sold and all of that. So that happened, and then we found that that trench had been paved back with concrete to just below the surface. It's kind of why that's in bad condition. And this equipment that's shown here doesn't grind concrete very well. So, and also, we had done, before that, they'd taken core samples of the asphalt, because if it's different ages, you'll need a different amount of emulsion, so you want to know what the condition is, and they hadn't accounted for any concrete. So then we gave them a sample of concrete, and that's what delayed the project a couple weeks, is they're doing a mixed design for that. Lane number 1 is going to be different, because they're going to use a small grinder and incorporate the concrete. So we're set now, and they're going to be starting next week. So the company that was the low bidders from Southern California, they're going to mobilize their equipment, and because it takes a long time to cure, we gave them a longer work window during the day than normally. On Bay Shore, we don't let people close a lane during commute hours, so we're letting them work from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. They need the sun, heat, the warmth, so we're trying to get the word out. Hopefully you've seen it other places. It's going to be somewhat inconvenient during those 4 to 5 days, and if you can go out of town, down Old County and just avoid it.
So, do you guys have to take the low bid, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm just it's really great to do this cold in place thing where they're not having to truck the asphalt off and they're having to truck the asphalt back. But if we have to take the low bidder who's in Southern California and practically coming a whole state away?
There's some trucking involved.
Yeah, did we win? Did we really, carbon-wise, did we really win? I don't know.
Was that one of the
I
factors?
didn't calculate that part. That's a good point.
Yeah, that would be great to add that to the bidding process.
This is what we
bidding
talked about in the
process.
climate action plan, and we push for on the Baylands is actually life cycle carbon assessments, where is the stuff coming from, and the whole
Yeah.
thing.
There are only
So,
2 companies that do this in the state.
Yeah.
The other one is, I believe, is based in the southern Bay Area, so
Yeah.
San Jose or south of there, so they would have been closer, and they were significantly more. But that's a good point. I appreciate the point. And that, the way you would get around that, as Kima said, is that you would require them to have their base of operations be within a certain number of miles, so they wouldn't qualify if they were further away.
Well, you could, if you're really doing that carbon assessment, they could be trucking everything here on electric trucks or bringing it on a train, and, so you have to determine what the actual carbon impact would be.
Plus, just because they're in San Jose doesn't mean that they're not trucking in from somewhere else either. You'd have to actually ask what their process is, because it doesn't say.
They might just be finishing.
They could just be a small little office, and who knows where they're trucking in from, because that.
Yeah, I know, but the other company is a subsidiary of Granite Rock, and they are based out of San Jose. I'm pretty confident of that, but I think there's, it's a challenging market for electric heavy-duty equipment even to truck the stuff up. I don't know if there's CNG or there are other options, but there isn't much electric, because we're kind of looking at our fleet, and it's tough thing to find. Light-duty, medium, you can go.
They're probably not driving them up. They're probably either trucking them up or putting them on a train, but a freight train, if they're smart, I would think they'd put them on a freight train, but we don't really know. Maybe you could just find out for our learning process.
I'm at 95% sure they're trucking.
They're trucking
the
them
equipment up.
Okay.
That's what I've seen every other case.
Okay. Well, that kind of blew her.
Well, maybe we'll do
Probably.
Yeah, we'll do a ballpark calculation of that, and
Yeah.
if it comes out worse, we probably won't tell you.
Then we'll know better next time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting a new paving, yay.
Yeah, this is
And
good.
we're fixing that street. So the cold in place, they put it down. It's typically when you do an overlay, you're using hot mix asphalt, and it just binds up. When it's rolled, it's compacted, and it's done. This is cold, and it has to cure, and the moisture has to be brought out of it, which we hope that the wind helps, because it doesn't get really, really hot here. But it has to cure, and then they'll do a fog seal over it, and sand if need be, and then they let traffic on it. And then we'll come back and we will do an overlay, because that can't be a finished surface, so in another couple of weeks, there'll be an overlay, and then permanent restriping, and it'll be new and in great condition. And that's another upside, is that this is gonna last a lot longer than another process.
Yeah. Good. Very cool.
So that's a savings that's hard to quantify too.
How often does this normally get done?
Well, when you're rehabilitating, so you would overlay, if you overlay and then you do other maintenance, slurry sealing, which is another asphalt emulsion, and sand, that's when you just see blacktop but not an actual structural addition, you have to do that slurry seal in between, but an overlay would last about 20 years if you do a slurry seal every 6 to 7 years in between. And we have done a couple on Bay Shore, but, funding is always short to do that stuff as often, and it's inconvenient. It's,
Yeah.
if you're always out working on a street, people get frustrated. So this should last 30-plus years
Nice.
with preventative maintenance done in between, crack sealing and slurry sealing.
Okay.
Quite a bit
It's,
cheaper.
now, I've just seen some on 101 further south by like 92, where, I don't know who, where, when, why, what, but there are just brand new asphalt with huge holes in it already. I mean, it shocks me. I don't know what that
I'm
really.
going to tackle that.
Yeah, so.
Better
this-
not happen to us.
Better not. It's just, I was shocked. I'm like, they just laid this like 2 years ago, and there's huge holes
This
in it.
winter was really hard on the roads, really hard.
My nephew drove across country and said he had smooth roads all the way through until he hit California. And he said it was just potholes the whole way.
But we have bike lanes.
Oh, okay.
Well, and there's a point to that, is that, the funding agencies are channeling money and want us to do multimodal projects, and there is less money for maintaining local streets and roads when you spend money on that. There's only so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we have, and so there's something to what you're saying. But having bikes should help
Some.
not wear out a pavement as much, if enough people are using those other modes,
That'd be great, if we can get more than 0.5% of people to bike.
Right, right. So, looking into this, actually, I'm not following the list, but I'll jump around, that's fine. Stuart said he thought he remembered, Stuart Schellinger, that this had happened during his tenure, and he contacted a prior member, Mary Gutenkantz, but she either didn't have the letter, she didn't get back to him, and I looked through the files that, we have the paper files, and I didn't find the letter, so I just recently contacted Fred Smith about it. I guess we can recreate such a letter if we can't find past one.
I'll check my files too, because I think I might have done the first draft of that letter.
Okay?
I think some corrections were made by the committee, and I don't know if I have the final draft, but I've probably got some kind of starting point, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, look.
Okay.
And I happened to be on the phone with Flowercraft anyway, so I asked them when they did their ordering, and they said she said they just do ordering every week. So if we just send this out early,
Anytime.
anytime is probably worth.
Better than not, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is on the council agenda for tomorrow night, if you didn't know. I think we wanted to email that, but you guys probably all get the council agendas emailed, but it's on their agenda to adopt the resolution that we put together.
Just a little bit of an update on this. A lot of cities are trying to, a lot of groups are in the Bay Area, and a number of cities are passing resolutions about
especially Wells Fargo, although Wells Fargo is only one of the banks that's funding the pipeline. There are a bunch of them. And the problem they've all run into is exactly the one that Stuart told us about. There is no good place to put your money. So a couple of weeks ago, I attended a long webinar on public banking. And public banking is actually getting some wind in its sails, partly because of this issue. Both San Francisco and Oakland have groups that are considering starting public banks so that cities will have some better place to put their money. So that's just an FYI. I'm not going to stay with the public banking committees because I'm on too many committees already, but it is interesting that everybody's run into the same problem that Stuart identified for us.
And had he circled back with you guys? I know he told me that new resources, he heard back that it wasn't that the amount of money that we would need or the assets, it was that they don't handle cash. So they don't, so when we collect cash at the pool or at an event, I probably shouldn't be saying this, we take it to the bank and deposit it, and they don't have the capacity to handle cash.
I take cash to New Resource
For us.
occasionally.
That's what he told me.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have like tellers and ATMs. You actually have to physically go into the office. They're not really set up for cash.
Yeah.
So
And maybe at our scale, they wouldn't.
Maybe they don't
wouldn't
want to
be
do
able
that much.
Yeah, that's what he told me. I can.
So we sort of had bantered around the idea of maybe using them for some of the services. Is that still a viable idea, or?
I think he was, reluctant to
Yeah,
split it.
be limited
yeah,
using them.
okay. Yeah, I kind of knew that was going to go away that way. I'm still somewhat disappointed, but not shocked.
Well, let's hope for public banks,
Yep.
which are good for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So everyone's got to see the Earth Day banners, and we had talked about beforehand that the committee wanted something more personalized and a little more handmade and not so manufactured. So we were going to talk after they were up about whether we had the appetite to try to initiate a process, because there'd have to be some, I'm not sure how it would work. That might be something that we would work on with Parks and Rec in terms of
Yeah.
if we did have a contest or an art project with kids, how it would be.
Yeah.
So do we want to agendize that at a future meeting, or how does the committee have thoughts on this?
I like those signs.
You like,
I think we have a lot of important work to do. So I'm pretty happy with the signs.
You like the signs the way they are, not to go out and make any new ones.
I agree.
I like them too.
I just saw a huge, big list of subcommittees, and
Yeah.
if somebody here is stepping forward to volunteer, go for it. Otherwise,
I was a little disappointed that we went this route, but I hope someday we can go a different route, but I don't have the appetite for it at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So,
okay, well, we'll, keep it on the back burner,
yeah.
okay?
The problem is if we wait till next year to bring it up, it'll take us 2 more years after that to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll take a little time, that's.
Well, these flags will still be good by then, so.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should still be good.
I suggest that since we're working with Parks and Rec on some other things and we do run into them, that maybe we could sort of mention, wouldn't it be great to have a contest for the Earth Day banners and see if somebody picks it up? And
Yeah. I mean, I that's kind of where I checked in about whether we could, if we had canvas and we got kids to draw on them, could we just go hang them? Because now this is kind of their program, the Day in the Park banners and the Live at Mission Blue, that's all done through the Park and Rec Department and the commission.
yeah, maybe they like the idea, and maybe they'd have people that were interested in working on it.
Yeah, I mean, they're the committee that's establishing policies like that. I don't know if you follow what they're doing. They're looking at like a commemorative bench policy if people ask for such a thing, and
Yeah.
what the criteria would be and all that, so they'd have a role for sure, so. It's a good point. So we were contacted about, I guess staff was contacted about the mayor's national climate action agenda, so mayors of, I guess, at least all the cities shown on this slide, if not more, signed on to a letter to the president urging him to work with them on climate change and to support the Paris Climate Agreement. So we have, I don't know if we're recognized yet on the website, but we've signed on to the letter, and they also have given us materials to post on social media. And I just got the letter from other staff, so I can forward that to the committee if you want to see what the content of it is.
Sure.
So, yeah, the mayor said go for it, and we didn't need to have a formal process to the council. It's just like, we're doing this. I want to be involved. So I wanted to update you guys about that.
Expect the White House to change direction forthwith.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this
I'd like
is,
to see 45 do a 360.
there's probably another third or so, that's just so I could fit on the one page, but there were quite a few more cities on there.
Well, that's good.
Signed
I'm
off.
I'm glad cities are doing that.
So is this is just a letter to the president? That's the whole,
Yeah.
or is there other additional stuff that is included in the agenda?
So in late March, they published this open letter, so cities are signing on, reaffirming their pledge to reduce emissions and to amplify the letter by signing it, sharing the action of doing so on city social media sites. Yeah. That is kind of all.
Oh, that reminds me, Lancaster's gone net zero.
Good for them.
Yeah. Their housing, it's required now and everything to be net zero.
Yeah, I saw that also.
Yeah. Ahead of building.
State.
Head of state. So, yeah, I mean, that just occurred to me, we could look at that, and because we're always reluctant to do the cost analysis, it's always like such a huge process to get the consultants and do the cost analysis, but they're in a different climate zone than us, so we probably couldn't use their data.
Right, they're not, right.
They've also got a lot more, as I understand it, they've got a lot more industry than we do, and they've really used their industrial rooftops and empty land for solar arrays and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I don't think we have the same sort of
Yeah.
situation. Goodness. Does anybody not want to adjourn?
Oh, sure.
I'll second that. We do want to adjourn.
I was just kidding.
I knew you were.
I thought you were having such a good time.
We are having a good
Wow,
time.
that was a great meeting. You should run for chair of the committee.
Totally agree.
I thought Camellia was, but you should. Wasn't Camellia?
You did that great. It was like you're born into it. Like it was
Yeah.
Oh, come
very, very. It was superlative, and it's. Lots of people like it. There's people talking about it. It's very.